Christianity was introduced in the early 1800s. They brought the Catholic Church in as well as the Anglican faith. Prior to that, Maori people, we had our own belief systems, had our own gods, Sky Father, Ranganui, Earth Mother, Mother Earth, Papa Tōnuku. We were connected with the mountains, the oceans, the rivers, the seas. Our ancient people could communicate with birds. We could talk to the birds. New Zealand actually used to be the home of birds, people. We had many birds that were could never be found anywhere else in the world. We had the biggest flightless bird. Does anyone know what that is?
Moa.
The moa, yes. You haven't had the opportunity to see that? It was just a big, giant, flightless bird. And we also had the haast eagle. You didn't know about the haast eagle, it had a bigger wingspan than the albatross. But a lot of them have become extinct now. And also we have the kiwi, which is an endangered species as well. Yeah, as I said, Maori people, we could see God in trees, you know. We didn't have to go into a building as such as normal people do. Normally people will go into a building to pray to a God. We go out into nature, and the Creator speaks to us. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we're very, very in touch with nature, people. Do we have any Catholics with us today? No? No? Nobody?
Not today.
Okay. Hey, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if you were wanting to have a look inside the church, that's fine. We have any Anglican? No? Okay. Religion's one of those things, people, you know, it's your own personal choice. So yeah, so we've got 2 churches in the village. As we go through, you'll notice the tombs, we're starting to go into the cemetery era. Notice these tombstones are above the ground. Why would they be above the ground?
A little warm underneath.
Yeah. You see that vent? Remember how I spoke about those vents being in a hot spot? Now that ain't a fog machine. That is not a fog machine, people. That is actually a vent that has been placed inside the cemetery. So what's that telling you? That's a hot spot. So what's the conventional way of burial? 6 feet under?
Yeah.
If you were to dig 6 feet under and get buried, what would happen to your corpse? Your corpse would boil. Your corpse would boil and rise to the surface. That's why they're on the top, people, and you can see them starting to crack. And that's just on the surface. And we are quite high on the water table as well as all the geothermal activity. As you come through on your right hand side, you'll see these mud pools. Mud pools are good for healing, good for sore bones, sore tissue, but also, ladies, if you're wanting to look even more beautiful and young than you already are, you can utilize the mud as a facial mud pack. Yeah, it has antiseptic properties, antioxidants as well. It'll get rid of any excess impurities, any excess oils, leaving your skin glowing and radiant. Mud, people.
Is there a current chief of the...
Yes, yes there is. And normally it's passed through the bloodline.
So it's hereditary.
It's hereditary, yeah, through the eldest son and so forth and so forth. Now what if he doesn't have a son?
Yeah.
Then it gets passed to the brother, and then the brother's son, the next, what we call a tuakana, which is passed on to the next brother and through his bloodline. So it'll still stay in that bloodline. Now, over to your right hand side, this is we're looking at our final resting places of our guides. Now we got to learn about our guides right at the start. So Maggie Papakura went over to Oxford University, went to England, studied at Oxford University. In her dying days it was her wish not to come back home, which caused a lot of disharmony with the village people, but she decided to be buried as close as she could to Oxford University. So she's buried at Oddington Church, Islip, Oxfordshire. Anyone from England or the UK? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
So she's closer to you than she is to us. So if ever you're in,
I will go and have a look.
please look for that name, Maggie Papakura. That's where she's buried. She's buried near you, ma'am, because she dedicated her life's work over there. The tribe wanted her to come home because she got raised here. Her son came home, William Francis Owenui Denon. He served in World War I. He says, no, Mum, I want to come back home. This is where I was brought up. So he came back home. Guess what? He ended up marrying the second guy. Remember the guy with Eleanor Roosevelt? Yeah. What was her name?
Rangi.
Rangi. Guy Rangi. So he ended up marrying her. She was his second wife. And that made Guy Rangi Maggie Papakura's daughter-in-law. Yeah, and that's a memorial to her there. So she brought through Prince Charles, Hollywood celebrities, Queen Elizabeth II before she passed away. So,
what's the carving on that? Is it her story or?
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. My man. So that has a story connected with her life, right up to the top. Now, who remembers the first guide?
Sophia?
Mary Sophia Gray. She's buried up here. Buried up here with many chiefs, people. Yeah. Now this is where the story gets interesting. Remember the name of the village? Waka! Te Whakarewarewa tanga o te ope taua Wahio. What was the translation? The uprising war party of Wahio. Who was Wahio?
The chief.
The chief! So this is where the uprising took place, people. So 300 years ago, 400 warriors were stationed on this hill. An invading war party coming in strong. These 400 warriors start doing a haka or a war dance. So
400?
fierce, so ferocious. Yeah, 400. But back in the village, that was thriving. That's what I mean.
That's an intimidating
And,
thing to see.
yeah,
400
so the
people
ground started shaking, dust started rising, that this invading war party fled. They were intimidated. So why would anyone want to come and invade this village, people? The minerals, the rich resources, the self-sustainability, all the benefits that you would find here in the village. They wanted to take it because they thought it was a gift from the gods. They became envious, so they wanted to take it for themselves, plunder it for themselves. But the men of the village says, no, we will fight. We will fight for our village. We will fight for our tribe. What in the tamariki?
There's tattoos.
His tongue's out.
Pukana. So these are what we call tickle or po. They're like our protectors, or we call them kaitiaki. Kaitiaki are our guardians. So that's what they're for. You'll notice they're stationed all around this village as protection. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move down to our second lookout platform, people, and have a look at our guys.